34.5. Shouldn't it be lighter? It is Earth Day, April 22nd. This is what it looks like, at least for the first half. I feel it's going pretty much straight uphill, and the trail itself doesn't look treacherous, but my pack is heavy. Same old story. Because today the temperature is rather cool and the wind is absolutely freezing cold. Last bit of snow there. Well, I'm coming up the trail and the views just keep getting better and better. And that flat gravel spot there looks ideal for a tent in ideal conditions. But I don't know if that's good for today. First of all, it's right next to the trail. And the winds. I'm walking along this rock. We're short ways from the summit now. And I don't know where it goes. I don't know. I'm not feeling any gut instinct telling me it's the right thing to pop into those woods. See that beautiful moss? I don't want to step on that. So, look at this spot. Big piece of flat rock with a decoration rock and a gorgeous view of Moosilauke. It's a little, where'd that go? Here. There is Flume Slide, which means we're looking at the Franconia Ridge as I scroll to the left. Behind those mountains in the foreground. But you can kind of see Lincoln Lafayette. So what are the mountains in the foreground? I don't know how I feel about this one. Part of me kind of wants to go back down or go find a different spot. I've been sitting up here a while watching the wind. Mostly there isn't that much wind. Just once in a while a little gust comes through. So I don't know why I'm so afraid of wind today. But I've decided to cook my meal and see how I feel after that. spices and shredded cheese. Bon appetit! For dessert, I have this ridiculously huge, amazing chocolate chip cookie because my family went to Boston yesterday and they brought me back this cookie from a bakery there called Levan. Probably seems kind of silly that I'm afraid about wind when there isn't any wind. The forecast calls for gusts up to 20 miles an hour, which isn't very strong. But, you know, I know wind can just show up on a mountain. It just seems a little risky to set up on a cliff. I mean, I'm far from the edge. I'm not worried about falling off the cliff. I'm just worried about wind zooming up. I've tied this corner of a tent to that tree. This side of the tent, I've had to use sticks and stones. Tied this one to a dried out log I found. Okay, I'm going to officially stop complaining and worrying about the wind potential and the tent exposure. And the final thing I'll say about this is, yeah, if my tent moves at all in the night, I'm out of here. I've often thought there is no such thing as a view from the tent in the White Mountains. But today I am wrong. There is a view. And hopefully this view won't get me a free flight off the cliff. When I was laying in my tent admiring the view, I saw a lake. Where did that go? There it is. A little pond. Look how big this area is. I figured out what mountains those are. The Kinsmans. Because you have Franconia Ridge across the street from the Kinsmans. Oh my goodness, I think I can see the tower on Cannon, but it's really tiny. Sun must be setting in the west, which must be over there. That would mean for a good sunset, I'm going to have to march myself back up to the summit. The mountain shadow. I walked all the way back to the summit and there's no sunset view. I'd have to keep going to the other lookout. But there is a full moon. I feel scared to go back down the trail to get to the other lookout because usually I stay very close to my tent and that makes me feel secure. But I really don't think it's very far, so let's give it a try. I have my headlamp, of course. Wonder if sometimes people put tents here. Oh, is that a fire ring? Huh, how far down was it? Look, there's ice. Forget it. Forget it. Anyway, there's a sign here. The way I came, 1.9 miles, and I guess there's a whole nother path to Benton Town Road, 2.3, Black Mountain Trail, that way. Well, sorry I didn't go get the sunset. Maybe we'll have some good views from over here. A bird came At first I thought it was a gray jay, but he looked like a hawk. And then I moved, and now he's over there. I believe those are rabbit droppings, and I think these are blueberry bushes. So that might be what the bird comes for. That bird is watching me. I wonder if I get in the tent, if he'll come over here. Franconia Ridge is turning sort of pink in the sunset, and that must be pretty nice from Lonesome Lake right now, which is nestled in between down there. When I have a huge view of a ravine like this, I always think I will see some animal down there. I hear an owl. I might as well go relax in my tent for a while because it's too bright. There's stars, but it's not a good picture. I'll just come back out in a little while. Well, I came out here around 10:30 to look at the stars, and it's utterly pointless. It's just comes out in the camera bright as day, and the stars are all washed out by the brightness of the moon. There's a yellow rumped warbler this morning. There he is. Oh my goodness. I am very excited about the migrating birds this summer. I love those birds, and this year I'm reading more about them, and it's amazing. They fly so far, and it's just about time for them to begin arriving. This morning, it's all about wind management. I think it sounds like the little bird says, "Please, please, please to meet you." Or, I need a tissue. I always get the blueberry version of this granola and milk meal. It also has some coconut in it, but I thought I'd try this banana one. It's really good. Goodbye, Black Mountain. Beautiful trail for the descent. The wind came in the early morning hours as I thought it might, and it was okay. I'm glad I stuck it out because that was a good wind experience for me. A positive, slightly stressful experience. It's just like a giant stairway. It's almost like an elevator through the forest. That is a ruby-crowned kinglet. This is about the end. I think the parking lot is right up here.